gang. Hey, nothing but love and respect. You might have some cool fans, but mine are the best. We've been through it all, went to war when duty called. Never left a man behind, we move as one is super strong. I don't want followers, that implies I'm the leader. I'm not the captain, I just gave them something they can believe in. I hold the lamp in the darkness, but they're the light that I needed to see the road that we walk in between the angels and demons. And my fans have my back. Hate us if your feelings don't like facts. And my fans will fight back. Beat you with the keyboard you've been using to write back. I guess we need each other like both sides of the battery. We the army, we the homies, we the gang, we the cavalry. We're brothers and sisters, we hold it down like we gravity. Can't nobody break the bond that made us all family.
Me and my fans, we don't care what anybody say. Middle fingers to whoever in the way, man. Me and my fans, we gon' be together to the grave. It's a game till forever and a day, man. Me and my fans, we don't even trip if they hate. We got I don't give a fuck in our veins, man. Me and my fans,
We the hangover gang. Gang, 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 gang.
Oklahoma weather can dish out some of the worst punishment in the world. Hi everyone, I'm meteorologist Tuttle. But now you can fight back by installing Class 4 impact-resistant shingles from Ferguson Roof Systems. These shingles can withstand large hail, heavy rain, and hurricane-force winds, all while keeping your home safe and dry. And the best part? This upgrade is completely free for many homeowners. So call today to start reaping the benefits these Class 4 shingles bring, including a discount on home insurance. Only at FergusonRoofSystems.com. Hey there, meteorologist Tuttle back with you again. It is just about 10 minutes till noon. This will be a quick look at your lunchtime live here for your Tuesday as we talk about the weather out there here for today, but also the approaching winter storm that's coming our way as we head into Thursday night into Friday. And we'll see if that has increased in intensity, if it's increased in the precipitation, if it's moved around, all that kind of stuff. So you've come to the right place, so thanks for watching, liking, and sharing this video with your friends and family. All right, let's get on with it, shall we? So the first thing we'll talk about is the fact that if you haven't noticed outside, it's a little dreary. Got some clouds out there. There's an upper level disturbance making its way on through, and that is what's causing those clouds to thicken up, and we'll show you the radar here in a second. Temperatures out there are obviously quite chilly. We're about 34 degrees here in my backyard at my Tempest weather station, so far cry from what it was, a few days ago where things are quite nice. Let's see, I'm going to do something here real quick. Don't mind me. Let's see, go here. Got to talk myself through this because I don't know why it's doing this and still doing it. What is going on? Oh, wrong one. That was one problem. All right, hold on. There it is. Sorry, got a technical difficulty. You don't even know what it is, but I can see it. So there we go. I had to get my temperature up there on the bottom of the right. Okay, so that's done. Now let's go on to business, shall we? Okay, so here's a look at the upper level disturbance. This little region up here in the water vapor channel is showing, I'll put a little marker right here, of where it's coming in from. Now, not all upper level disturbances have a lot of moisture to work with, and when they don't produce a whole lot of precipitation. What you can do is you will see an enhancement in the satellite viewpoint in the water vapor channel of how you can see the bright white showing up. That's the moisture getting squeezed out, condensing into nuclei across Oklahoma and North Texas. Now, where there's a lot more deeper low-level moisture, you get those deeper whites, and that's out here in the eastern Texas and also into Arkansas, in Louisiana, etc. But now in here, you do little pockets of some deeper whites in there, right? Well, let's see what that looks like here when I take a look at the radar view underneath that. You can see, yes, we do have a little bit of light rainfall out here across eastern Oklahoma. A lot of this is just glorified sprinkles, very light passing shower. At one point, even had a little bit of sleet mixed in along the Red River. Earlier this morning, you can see temperatures out there across the state are into the 30s, so it's just not a very nice, pleasant lunchtime afternoon. So it is what it is, though. It will warm up a little bit here next couple of days. Briefly, and then the bottom drops out again, so keep the coats handy, needless to say. All right, so for today, we started out into the teens and 20s out across Oklahoma from west to east. Then currently right now we talked about we're into the 30s and now a few 40s showing up. Now when we look at the upper level, or look at the, let's just say all the layers of the atmosphere, and we try to find out where the warm layers may sneak in to help change the precipitation type, the models are indicating cold enough for all snow here in blue in northwest Oklahoma, etc., north and west. But there's a little spot here, trouble on the I-44 corridor, where it's got a mixture of both sleet and freezing rain as a potential outcome early Thursday morning. But the good news is, as we head into, let's see, there's 6 o'clock in the morning, still around the Tulsa area in Oklahoma City. But then, well, okay, there's 9 o'clock, it's still kind of in that area. And then it's out of there by lunchtime. So in other words, southeast Oklahoma and along that I-44 corridor, still going to have a little bit of that mixture of a little bit of light freezing drizzle, light freezing rain, and some snow all coming down at the same time. Now, amounts right now are still fairly light here in Oklahoma City. The ensemble, or the short-term models, high-resolution models, indicate pretty light precipitation during this period of time. So if I do a total QPF, it's only maybe up to 1/10 of an inch. So that's not a whole lot. You can't get much out of that, but you can get enough to cause some roadway problems, especially when you're heading out on your morning commute. Now, in the upper levels of the atmosphere, the storm system we're looking at, of course, today, showing up right there, those bright colors. That'll zip on by. The next one comes in right about here, and that's for Friday. Now, if you notice, it's kind of more of an elongated trough axis from the Great Lakes all the way back down to Mexico. So when they don't come in as a closed low, you don't get a whole lot of precipitation generated out of them. You do get some, depending on where they come from. This one, the way it's stacked, is not a big precipitation maker. It's a mini precipitation maker. Now, we try to time things out. We go with the colors here on this map at 700 millibars. And it shows a little lift coming through the state currently as we speak. That's what's producing the clouds, and yes, a few little spotty showers. That moves out this evening, so we're quiet. And then we have some new lift that comes in here. Here's Wednesday afternoon and evening out across the panhandle of Texas and Oklahoma. And then we start to get a little some here across Wednesday night into central Oklahoma into Thursday morning. Now, as that happens, we have a cold front coming in. So it's kind of a two-pronged approach here. So we're starting to get increasing cloud cover. We'll trap some of those clouds in the colder, shallow air. As we head into Thursday, don't look for much in the way of any sun because this lift will continue and it's kind of trapped in that lower levels of the atmosphere. So might squeeze out some light freezing drizzle, very, very light freezing rain where it's cold enough behind the colder air. Light spotty showers out ahead of it during the day on Thursday. Right now it looks like a very low probability event as far as anything significant goes. The bigger signal, as far as more substantial stuff, it's really going to mess things up for you, is Thursday night and Friday morning. Here comes that wave out here in the Panhandle and the western central parts of the state, about 3 o'clock in the morning Thursday night, and then there's Friday morning for your lunchtime or for your morning drive. And then as we head into lunchtime, it should be moving its way into southeast Oklahoma at that point. So it's a quick moving system, and it's all over with by late Friday afternoon. So that's the timing on these waves of precipitation. When we look, I'm going to back this up here to right about. Let's go to Friday morning. Let's see here. So Friday, here's Thursday evening. That's not bad. We'll do Thursday evening because the front will be working its way through central Oklahoma, etc. But this little line, I'm going to draw the red line from Tulsa to Oklahoma City. Okay, right in here. The deeper blue line is back up in this region, right? Well, that's where temperatures are going to be cold enough for snow. But you can see we have a little bit of wiggle room here. We got the mixed bag here for this Thursday night. So that means that the early round of precipitation should be in the form of that freezing drizzle, light freezing rain, a little bit of sleet mixed in. And you can start to see that in the model data for Thursday here across parts of central, northern, and eastern Oklahoma. This is just the first sign of this is starting to happen. The models may not pick up on this very well since it's so light, but just keep that in mind. For Thursday afternoon and Thursday evening and Thursday night, things should start to deteriorate on the roadways. Now, when we look at the big picture here as far as precipitation goes, let's take you to, let's go to Thursday night. All right, so there's midnight. All right, so there we go to Friday morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. There you can see the signal here of the light mix of precipitation breaking out across central Oklahoma. By 6 a.m., most of it is now pressed to the south as far as anything that's the wintry mix, and we're starting to replace it now more with snow along the I-44 corridor from Tulsa to Oklahoma City, and then snow back north and west from there. You can see how the wintry mix continues down across southern and southeastern Oklahoma at 9 o'clock in the morning on Friday, and then by lunchtime, still pressing down to McAllister to Fort Smith to Ardmore to probably just north of Dallas right now. Looks like the cutoff line is about Dallas-Fort Worth as far as anything frozen is concerned. All right, and then we go to, again, the models are going to do too well at this yet. We're still early in the game, but the signal is what we want to watch for. And the signal is still there. It's got a little bit of that light icing accumulation here, mostly anchored across southeast Oklahoma. But like we talked about, it doesn't take more than just a couple hundredths to cause some problems on the roadways, and that includes Tulsa and Oklahoma City. Snowfall amounts, remember we're still early in the game on this as well. Anytime we look at precipitation totals, It's still a grain of salt until you get within about 24 to 48 hours when you're talking about winter weather. And right now, they've got about anywhere from 1 to 2 inches across central, northern, northeastern Oklahoma. There's going to be pockets probably going to get 3 out of this. Kansas will get a lot more, by the way. They'll get several inches of snow out of this deal. The ensembles from the European have kind of backed off a little bit on some of the stronger amounts that we looked at last night when I did a live. So they're averaging now a little lower, about a little over half an inch of snow here in Oklahoma City. Other models still up around close to an inch. So you're not going to build the biggest snowman, maybe the smallest. But at least be some measurable snow out there, enough to cause some problems. All right, so here's a look at Thursday. We'll go to lunch, start you at lunchtime. Now it'll be a tale of two cities. That was a little pun there, by the way. But eastern Oklahoma, still good. I mean, as far as temperatures getting a little bit more on the milder side, but they never do recover out here to the north and west. And this colder air will make its way deeper into the state as we head into Thursday afternoon. So the front comes through Oklahoma City metro area by midday on Thursday. The temperature's falling during the afternoon period as we head into the evening hours. Let's see, there's 6 p.m. right here. So as we mentioned, the precipitation, we started to see kind of echoes breaking out kind of in this region. So you can see how you're going to get a little precipitation out ahead of the front in this area, and then you start to get precipitation back behind the front. And it just depends on how cold this area is as to whether or not you get problems as early as 6 p.m. Thursday. Keep in mind the models usually underestimate the strength of the cold air. So instead of 39 degrees, we could easily be at 30, and that would be a drive time problem if we had some light freezing drizzle. That's the best I can tell you this far out as far as getting that detailed. We look at winds. We're going to be gusting up to around 20 to 30 miles per hour with this event. So there's Thursday night, for example. Here's Friday morning. There's a gust of 32. So when you kind of factor in that type of a situation, you're looking at wind chill values. That'll be dropping from the 30s into the 20s and the teens and the single digits as we go from Thursday night into Friday morning. The German Icon model, kind of looking at this lately to see how it's doing for the snowfall amounts. It still likes a little heavier batch across far eastern Oklahoma, maybe 2 to 3. And of course, that a little heavier amount running right along the I-44 corridor from Tulsa to Oklahoma City, points north. We've got widespread 1 to 2 with pockets of 3. Right now, I think that's a pretty decent approach to the forecast as far as totals go. We look at temperatures over the next few days. Obviously, a little better tomorrow and Thursday for the first part of the day. Then remember, temperatures do go downhill Thursday afternoon. Now on Friday, here's the kicker. I struggle with this idea of us hitting 40. This is a model blend that takes all of them and blends them together. I still think it'll be closer into the lower 30s for Friday afternoon here in Oklahoma City and probably a lot of areas of the state. But definitely be cold on Friday morning, and then definitely cold Saturday morning, and then that 50 probably looks about doable, maybe a degree or two shy from that for Saturday. So Saturday will be a big warm-up, and then on Sunday, of course, we're looking good. And, man, look at this. Wednesday, back up to near 80 degrees. Wouldn't you like that? I know I would. I think I'm pretty much over winter. It is spring after all. But you know what that means. If I'm over winter, that means tornado season's right around the corner, right? All right, so here's the last graphic I'll show you. It does show you the first disturbance that's moving our way right now. That's what this looks like in the mid-levels of the atmosphere. This is 15,000 feet, okay? This is the surface where we live and breathe. And you can see this is where the cloud cover is that you see outside. And a lot of this is dry air. So when I say glorified sprinkles, usually any precipitation that falls from this area will evaporate on its way down to the surface. So it's sometimes hard to get these raindrops to make it all the way down the bottom. And when they do, you get a light sprinkle. And I could talk to you yesterday in some place where it was cold enough, you might squeeze out a light snow flurry out of it. That was about it. Our next system, you will see the moisture on the low level start to increase right here. Time goes from right to left. So this is Thursday morning. This would be Thursday lunchtime, Thursday evening, and then Friday morning right here. And so what you focus on is the moisture here getting a little bit deeper in this region as we start to get some condensation going from not only there, but here in the mid-levels of the atmosphere, thanks to this omega, and then back up above that layer in the snow growth layer. So this is really where Friday morning is where things really get interesting. So everything kind of goes from the top down in the atmosphere whenever you're talking about generous snow production. So it's going to start up here, then it works its way through this drier layer, then kind of saturates it over time, and then it starts to come down. And when that does, you start to get it to accumulate down here at the bottom where we all live and breathe, and that's where the models start to add up the snowfall amounts. In this particular one, it adds up to about 1/10 of an inch which correlates to about an inch of snow if you do a standard 10-to-1 ratio here in Oklahoma City. And then it's out of here by Friday afternoon. So it's kind of how that looks in the vertical. We take a look at the data from a different viewpoint. All right, so what about that sleet and ice? Brian wants to know. Okay, so here's the deal with that. It's not a huge event as far as like we've seen the last couple, but it is enough to cause problems on the roads. Just enough to be a headache. And unfortunately, it's coming in for your morning commute. So, it's already probably going to start around 3 o'clock in the morning here in central Oklahoma. Sometimes Oklahoma City Metro. Anytime after that is fair game. And it lasts through the morning into the lunchtime hour. Now, be very, very light. Might even be misleading. You might think, it's no big deal. And then it's those bridges and overpasses that are iced over. And some of the area roadways, they'll start to go too. So that's kind of how we are right now. Now, if we can get by with very, very light precipitation, so light that the wind helps to evaporate it, and there's still some residual ground warmth, that comes to the roadways, we might skate by. But it's to make that kind of a call, not possible. Not at least not here on a Tuesday lunchtime. But that's the potential. So we're working with. So it can go this way or this way. And the bad news is that it's a system and it's at the wrong time of the day. So you might have a little delay getting into work, all that kind of stuff. But lighter snows here in Oklahoma City versus maybe a little bit better snow potential, say, out in Tulsa. I didn't look at that model for Tulsa. Let me look at that real quick, see if it's any different. That has a little better signal for the sleet and freezing rain in northeast Oklahoma than it does for Oklahoma City itself. So in other words, a little bit better moisture source out there for that first round that comes in Thursday evening overnight. So more of a headache for you in northeast Oklahoma. And then on Friday, it also has about, looks like, it doesn't do much for about a half inch of snow in Tulsa. So again, it's not a huge snow maker for anybody, it looks like. Overall, like, talking 3, 4, 5, 6 inches of snow for a large number of people, that's not going to happen. But anywhere from a dusting to 1 is going to be very common. There'll be pockets of 2 to 3, I think, in some areas of the state, especially parts north and eastern Oklahoma. We get some sweet spots, and that's about it. So, but that's the way it goes. All right, well, listen, I'm out of here. This was a short, sweet lunchtime live for you. Thanks for dropping by. We will do another live update here this evening around 9:30. Make sure you join me then. We'll take a look at the latest data, see if anything's changed. And we'll try to start to fine-tune these things a bit more than we can. I try to fine-tune as much as I can, as soon as I can, so you have the best information to act upon. All right, you guys have been great. Thanks again for checking in. Have a great rest of your afternoon. Stay warm. We'll talk soon.